What's up, guys? This is Dave Marshall with the RC Air Marshall YouTube channel, and today we're doing something a little different. We're going to take our first plunge into reviewing a surface product here on the channel. Now, in the past, we've always done airplanes, but I have had a love for surface RC since I was a small kid, and it's about time we show you some surface stuff. Now, the ARRMA Vendetta is brand new from Horizon Hobby and ARRMA, and this thing is sweet. It's a 3S ready-to-run platform. It is based on the BLX 4x4 Mega chassis, which means that there's a lot of parts compatibility. So it will share some of those components from things like the Big Rock, to include like the long wheelbase chassis, the center shaft. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of interchangeable parts between those. So parts availability for the Vendetta shouldn't be a problem. The Vendetta is available in two different colors. We've got the lime greens color scheme here, and there's also a really nice looking blue one that I have seen at our local hobby shop who has the blue one there. That one also looks fantastic. You really can't go wrong with either one. So if you like blue, get the blue one. If you like the green one, get the green one. Both of them look fantastic. Like I mentioned, this is fully ready to run. So it's going to include your DX3 transmitter, which does have your telemetry status on here. It basically just tells you what the remaining capacity is of a smart battery. If you're not running a smart battery, you're not going to see that. And I'll cover that again later when we get to the driving section. Also, under the hood, we've got a Spektrum 100 amp Firma ESC that will pass that smart data from your smart battery back to your transmitter. And we also have a Spektrum 3900 kV in runner. Out of the box, this thing is running a 20-tooth pinion. It comes with a 26-tooth pinion for doing speed runs. And it also includes a low downforce wing so you can get a little more speed. Out of the box, this is going to have the 20-tooth pinion installed and the high downforce rear wing installed. So obviously the body was inspired by, modern day supercars. It very much has like that sports car look. We've got the front splitter here, high wing on the back. It kind of reminds me of like a Daytona prototype car, something that you'd see in like the 24 hours of Daytona, 24 hours of Le Mans, etc. It's a very good looking car in my opinion. And it's a bit of a departure from ARRMA, where we had like the Limitless that kind of looked like an open wheel Formula One type thing. Obviously the Infraction, kind of has that race truck look. The Felony that has kind of that old American muscle car look. This one, they went in a bit of a different direction, but, clearly with the way that this thing is set up, it was inspired by those Speed Bash, lineage from before. And this thing doesn't disappoint at all with regard to performance on the road. So at this point, we're going ahead and pull the body off and take a look at what we got for the chassis. So here we're looking at the ARRMA Vendetta. We'll go ahead and turn it around here and take a look at everything that we got going on. So it does have the plastic bodied shocks, but they do work well. We've got, fairly short upper links here, because we got shorter A-arms, and we'll flip the thing over and take a look at that. But we do have really good suspension. We've also got a sway bar, both front and rear. I don't know if you can see that down in there. You can kind of see the end of the sway bar link here. Oh, let's see if we can get in there. There you can see like the end of the sway bar. Anyway, we do have sway bars front and rear. We've got our center shaft, which is very typical of the ARRMA four-wheel drive vehicles. Very easy to get that out of there. We've also got our adjustment for our slipper, which we can adjust from right here. We've got our modular motor, so our center differential is in there, or the center slipper, as well as our pinion. The motor mount all comes out as one piece, which is really nice, and that goes directly into the input gear for the rear differential and the front drive shaft goes up to the front diff. So again, on the rear, we've got the plastic shocks. We've also got a like a plastic diffuser back here, which can help with aerodynamics. Yeah, but that's what the back of the car looks like. So on this side of the chassis, we've got our 3900 kV brushless motor. It has a heatsink and fan on it, which is, you know, again, very customary of like the 4S Creighton from back in the day, had that same type of fan unit on there. We've got a 100 amp Firma ESC that's included. That's what's going to send all of our telemetry data. Under here, we've got our receiver box. Now I've got my little GPS thing attached to the top of the receiver box right now, but that's where your receiver box is. Now under there, we've got the SR 6200A receiver in there that includes the Advanced Vehicle Control, or AVC, from Spektrum, which helps you maintain a straight line under hard acceleration and really helps keep the car tame out on the streets. We've got a Spektrum steering servo up here, and all, you know, like I said, very common steering linkages. The steering rack is very common to what we would see on that mega chassis. Now, our linkages, they appear to be plastic, but I think what's going on is they're just so short that they've got these little collars on them that spin around, and this one has like a little spacer there too. I'm sure that there is, you know, like a threaded rod in there of some sort connecting the two ball link ends together, kind of holding those in place, but you can't see them. The battery tray, it will accommodate the hard shell up to 5,000 milliamp hour batteries. That's if you're running the smart packs. I've also got a Zeee 6,000 milliamp hour battery pack that fits in there. I use the hard shell cases, but you can remove this block and you can also remove this block to get yourself a little more room inside that battery tray. And of course, you've got your two Velcro tie downs here to hold that battery in place. So you do have generous room to mount a battery in here. Here on the underside, we can see those A-arms. They're shortened A-arms, front and rear. Of course, we've got, you know, some scratching and stuff. We've been out running this thing. For the tires, we have the dBoots 11s. The dBoots Hoons 11s. These are not belted tires. And as you can see, I mean, we've run this thing maybe 4 or 5 times. I mean, the tread on them is getting eaten up pretty bad. So, you know, as with all of your speed bash cars, it's going to be a good idea to have a set of extra tires on hand. Now, something to keep in mind is that they do have the dBoots Hoons belted tires available for the Vendetta. So if you go over to the Vendetta site, you can look up those optional dBoots Hoons belted tires, and those are going to be a great upgrade for the Vendetta. So we're going to cut over to some footage of us out in the field running this thing, and then we'll cut back over and talk about the car a little more. All right, guys, we're here at a big old parking lot with the all-new Arrma Vendetta. We are running a smart battery. We're running a 5030C, so we've still got the 20-tooth pinion on here. So I'm not really that concerned with the 30C pack. It's only 100 amp ESC, so it should be able to handle it just fine. But if I were running the 26-tooth pinion, I would definitely want to have the a 50C pack in here. The reason that we want to run that smart pack today is so we can show you the telemetry on the DX3 transmitter. So we're going to go ahead and get everything running and let you guys take a look at that. Right now we're taking a look at the top of the DX3 transmitter. Because we've got that Spektrum smart battery in there, we can see the lights going up and down the left-hand side of this area of the transmitter, and those lights represent the battery capacity of our smart pack. If you're not running a smart pack, those are not going to be illuminated. So the Arrma Vendetta is based on the BLX 4x4 3S chassis. So similar to what you'd find on like the Arrma Big Rock. So there's a lot of parts that are going to be universal between the Vendetta and some of those other vehicles that are based on the same chassis design. I mean, this thing is fast. You know, so one of the great things about the Vendetta is not only does it have just outstanding straight line speed, as you can see with the advanced vehicle control. I mean, this thing is able to maintain that straight line under full throttle with zero steering input. It's awesome. I mean, it's just a fantastic, a lot of fun to drive this thing. So braking, very effective. You know, you can see that it can take those large corners, you know, under a little bit of braking. It does brake free just a little bit. But it's very easy to get back under control. I mean, this thing is just wicked. I mean, just the sound of it. It sounds completely different than other cars that I've had in the past from Arrma. I mean, it's just got a very unique sound. And this, the driving that we're doing right now, this is with the stock motor, stock ESC. I mean, everything is stock pinion, so it's the 20-tooth pinion with the active vehicle control. I turned up just over 50%. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear that thing just winding down. I mean, it just sounds mean. And even in the braking, the AVC definitely helps in the braking. So we've hit our low voltage cutoff. So I didn't get any kind of audible indication from the transmitter that we had hit LVC. So we're going to go over here and look at our smart checker. The last light on the transmitter is flashing. So we're going to go over here, check our smart checker, see what our cells are at, and give us an idea of what LVC looks like on this thing. We're just going to pull the battery and check it with the smart checker to see what our cell voltages are at. The battery is a little bit warm, not a big deal. It's not like hot like it would be coming out of an airplane, so I don't think we abused it too much. And we're at 3.66, 3.67 volts per cell. So we did drain it down a little bit low, but we still got about 10% of the battery remaining, so we're not like in dangerous territory as far as your cell voltages go. But that's if you take it all the way down to LVC as it sits box stock. So that was on the Spektrum 30C pack. I do have some Zeee 80C packs here that we're going to give a try. in the Vendetta. These are 3S 6000 ADC packs, so they can take a lot more continuous current, and they should offer a little bit better punch, throughout acceleration. We shall see. Now we're running the Zeee 6000 milliamp hour 3S ADC pack. We're doing this so we can get some speed runs. So we've got our GPS going, and we'll be able to get those readings after the drive here. So let's check out what this thing will do on the Zeee ADC pack. All right. So it certainly doesn't seem any faster, but it does seem a little more punchy on the acceleration. Whew, this thing is quick. So just the straight line acceleration on this car is pretty amazing, considering what it is. I mean, it's only a 3S system, stock, right out of the box. I mean, this thing is doing quite a bit of speed. We'll be able to get the exact numbers here in just a moment, but man, it's very impressive, you guys. Man, this thing's quick. Woo-hoo! And when you're just taking it easy on the throttle, I mean, this thing handles very well. So we're finished up with our run on that Zeee ADC 6000 milliamp hour ADC 3S pack. We're going to take a look at what our speeds were. Okay. So 57 miles an hour. All right, and that is bone stock out of the box. That's with the Zeee 6000 milliamp hour ADC pack, the Arrma Vendetta on 3S packs. That's awesome. All right, guys, we're going to take this back to the studio and finish up talking about the Vendetta. All right, guys, so that was the footage of us out running the Arrma Vendetta. Now, we ran this thing box stock, both with the Spektrum Smart 3S 30C pack. That was a 5,000 milliamp hour pack, and we also ran it with a Zeee 6,000 milliamp hour ADC pack. We did have a little more punch on the ADC pack, but I'm pretty sure we have like soft start and stuff like that set up. So you're not going to get like explosive acceleration. I mean, don't get me wrong, it accelerates very fast, but it's not going to like tear the differential apart and just go instantly to full speed. It does build up over time rather than just, fully cutting into max speed. Speaking of max speeds, as you saw in the videos, we were able to get this thing up to 57 miles an hour bone stock. Now that was with the high downforce wing and the 20-tooth pinion. If we were to switch that over to the 26-tooth pinion and the low downforce wing, I'm sure we can get a lot closer to the 75 or the 70 miles an hour that's advertised on the box of this thing. Now, one thing that I noticed while I was driving it, it does chew through the tires pretty quick. So, like I said earlier, you're going to want some spare tires around, and we're going to have links down in the description for both the Hoons 11s, which are the stock tires that it comes with, as well as the dBoots Hoons belted tires that are the recommended upgrade that I would, that I would recommend folks buy, the white label Hoons belted tires. So something else that I'll be doing with mine, outside of putting the 26 tooth pinion on there, we're absolutely going to do that. We're going to go get some more footage, maybe a couple of more speed runs with the 26 tooth pinion and the low downforce wing to see if we can't get this thing up to that 70 miles an hour. I also am going to be binding up my DX5 Pro because it's just got some extra features and stuff, where I can actually see individual cell voltages and get alerts and things like that. It's just a better pair with the smart telemetry. So, by all means, the DX3 works great. It's just not my favorite, and I don't like hunting and picking around for these transmitters. Once you have enough ARRMA vehicles, or any of the Horizon vehicles now are including these, so the ARRMAs, the Axials, the Losis, a lot of the cars that you're going to get from the Horizon arsenal are including either the DX3 or the SLT3, I believe is the name of the other one, and they all look so similar. So you have to like label them, and it just gets out of hand, right? So I'd rather have the one transmitter to rule them all, the DX5 Pro. I bind this up to everything, but we like to run them stock with the transmitter that it comes with to see how it does. And the next videos that we do, we'll have it bound up to the DX5 Pro. We'll show you some of the cool stuff that the DX5 Pro can do when it's bound up to the Spektrum smart systems. And the DX5 Pro has 250 model memory, so I'm nowhere near that in my Surface fleet right now. But almost everything that we've got bound up in here, and it just makes my life a lot easier without having to, try to keep track of like 20 of these things laying around the house. I just got a box full of them. So overall, very impressed with the ARRMA Vendetta. For a 3S power system, this thing performs awesome. I know there's been some folks out there that have been trying it on like 4S and 6S systems. I just want to play with it as it was intended to be played with, as a 3S system. So even with just the 20 tooth pinion and the high downforce wing, I'm super impressed that this thing is able to get up to 57. I'm sure that we could probably break that 60 barrier if we really wanted to. I'm sure we could probably get it going a little quicker. But as it sits out of the box, 60 miles an hour is really impressive to me. Swap out that pinion, swap out that wing, you're probably going to be hitting that 70 miles an hour easily on 3S power, which is just insane. So not only was I impressed with the speed, but also just the general handling. I mean, this thing, you would think that at those kinds of speeds that it would be wildly out of control, and it's absolutely not. With the high downforce wing on there, this thing was stuck to the road. I didn't have any problems with handling. The center of gravity is so low in this thing. I mean, it's barely sitting maybe a ½ inch off the ground. The center of gravity is very low. It didn't have any problems at all with like toppling, tumbling, rolling over, anything like that. You've also got your anti-sway bars in there that are going to, hopefully prevent a lot of that kind of craziness from happening. Now, I did see, through some turns, I mean, you would definitely get some body roll, but it was all very well managed by the suspension setup. Again, can't say it enough, super impressed with the ARRMA Vendetta 4x4, all-wheel drive speed bash effort from ARRMA. I think this thing is fantastic. If you are into fast cars, I think you guys are absolutely going to love this thing. It's available right now, still on pre-order at Horizon. It's going to be available at all local hobby stores, and it's going to start shipping from Horizon this Friday, November 19th, 2021. So if you still are on the fence about whether to get one or whether to wait to see some more, I'd say go ahead and grab it. This thing is fantastic. Anyway, guys, I mean, at this point I'm kind of rambling, but I mean, it's easy to keep talking about it and singing its praises. That's how much I love this thing. It's awesome. I think you guys will love it too. be sure to check it out over at Horizon, or check it out at your local hobby shop. We do have links down in the description, like we said at the beginning of the video. Those are affiliate links, and I appreciate it if you guys use those. It offers a small commission to me at no additional charge to you. If you're interested in other ways that you can support the channel, all those links are going to be down in the description as well. And you can go over to rcairmarshal.com at any time, and we've got all of our affiliate partner links available on the website. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer those as soon as I can. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss another video here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.